Chat? What the fuck was that? What is that? Here? Chat? I don't know. What the fuck just happened? Did somebody swat us? I'll be back, chat. Was it really? It was a prank.
OG Trap Jordan, OG Trap Jordan, the other sneaker YouTubers, the hell are boring. OG Trap Jordan, OG Trap Jordan, I got sneakers rated and pouring.
What up, YouTube? OG Trap Jordan, back with another one. And obviously you can see what today's video is about. Your boy Adeel from Cool Kicks got busted. I think it was last night or early today. And as you can see in that video that I just showed, at the end of that video, you can hear real genuine fear in that man's voice. And I say that to say that this is not fake. If you guys are thinking that this is fake, there's other footage going around that actually shows him with the police around him, and I think he's got his hands up. I couldn't find that footage, but I seen it earlier today. So if you guys don't know already, he got busted and nobody really knows exactly what's going on. It's all speculation, but he was busted by basically the feds in something that's called the Bunko Division, which basically, the Bunko Division is basically they deal with cons, frauds, scams, and from what I understand, it can also be stolen goods. Now, like I said, nobody really knows, but we can speculate as far as I don't know, the way that sneakers are right now and what's been going on in the world, in the sneaker world. We could speculate. We pretty much know what it is. I mean, it's either he's selling fakes or supposedly, allegedly, has stolen products. Now, we know that lately there's been, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of heists. There's been train heists. There's been not just train heists, but there's been like heists at the Memphis facility. And it's kind of crazy because I was going to make a video similar to this and then this happened, but I was really going to talk about basically how I felt like Nike they had to be basically pushing their products directly to like third-party apps. But this kind of correlates with that, because my whole thought process in that was basically that how are they getting all these shoes on these third-party apps, but they never get stopped unless Nike is directly sending them to them? I mean, we know that there's a lot of busts, but every single shoe that ever drops, they're always on StockX a couple months, or GOAT or eBay or whatever, a couple months before the drop, and they have full size runs, and they have so many pairs that it's like, you see Nike suing StockX, right? They're suing them, they sued them for fakes. But why is it that they've never tried to stop them from stolen products or backdoor products? Because essentially backdoor products are stolen products as well. If they didn't get them from Nike, they're stolen. Even if an employee or somebody leaked them out the back door, that's still some sort of fraud. It's still some sort of theft. And it's like, why does Nike allow that to happen? If they're suing StockX, why are they not suing for stolen products? Why are they only suing for fakes or UAs or whatever you want to call it? And my whole thought process is, well, they must be aware of it at the very least, or not, they're pushing them out there. Now, back to Cool Kicks. I just say all that to say that that correlates with this, but we don't really know exactly what the charges are. I've heard allegedly that he's out. I've also heard that there's no bail, but then I've heard that he's been released and OR'd, which means basically you're released on your own recognizance or however you pronounce that word. But it basically means it's like bailing out without putting any money up, and then you have to come back and go to court and face your charges. So basically, this man was busted today or last night or whenever, and I just want to say this. I'm not a fan of resellers. I don't like resellers, but I don't want to see anybody go to jail. I just think that a lot of these guys have gotten really cocky and really arrogant, and they've really, in my personal opinion, they've really screwed up the game, and lately it's been getting back to normal, and resellers haven't really been thriving like they used to unless we're dealing with collabs and stuff like that. I just recently made a video about that. But I just say all that to say that at the end of the day, it's really clear that there's funny business going on in the sneaker game without me saying too much and coming off like I'm on some like police type stuff, because like I said, I don't want to see anybody go to jail behind this. But at the same time, it's like you see these YouTubers, you see these content creators, you see these resellers, and you see what they're doing to the game, and you see how cocky and arrogant they are with it. And it's like, in the back of all of our minds, did any of us not see this coming? And do we not see it coming further for some of these other guys? I mean, let's keep it a buck. Where are they getting the shoes from and what's really going on? Either they're selling fakes or it's funny behind the scenes business, and we know what it is. But at the end of the day, like, if this dude was doing some funny stuff, he can't really be surprised and he can't really be shocked unless he just thought he was completely untouchable. But it's crazy because you see these heists and you see how many of these shoes are getting busted, but it's like every single shoe hits the resale market like 2 months before it actually drops. So what's really going on? Because there's not that many busts. Yeah, there's a lot of train busts, but every single shoe comes out in like full size runs, like hundreds of pairs, thousands of pairs on the third party apps. And then you see people on Whatnot and you see people selling them on their IGs. And there's just so many pairs that it's like these resellers are getting allocated just as many shoes, if not more, than the actual stores. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Is this something that's just being allowed, and all of a sudden now maybe to save face, maybe they're coming down on them? I don't know. Or what if this happened? What if he really did just get swatted? Because we haven't gotten a lot of details. Maybe somebody who was just a hater sent the feds up in there. I don't know. It kind of sounds like a long shot, but that is something that's been trending lately. You see a lot of people getting swatted, and maybe that happened, but I doubt it. I think there's some funny business behind this, and I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of details, but I did want to report on this and just say that I'm not really surprised, but I do feel bad because a guy like that, I mean, he'd probably end up in a camp if he does any time, but he's not built for like a real prison situation. I mean, nobody really, I don't want to, I did 10 years in the feds myself, and I don't want to see anybody go through that. But at the end of the day, if you're doing a crime, you got to be aware that something like this is going to happen. I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's innocent. I'm not here to say that. I'm just here speculating on what happened and reporting the news to you guys. But at the end of the day, there was some funny business going on. It's been some funny business. And a lot of these other guys, I think you guys that are out there reselling, or you're out there scamming, or whatever you're doing, and there's a lot out there, you guys know who it is, the people that I don't really like and I don't really mess with, take it as a warning, because if this happened to him, it could happen to you. You guys are out there just living your best life, which is fine. But at the end of the day, you are scamming people, and we all know that. And a lot of people are getting played. There's fakes going around. There's like stolen pairs going around, and people are getting taxed and getting their head knocked off with these crazy ass prices. So just be aware at the end of the day that there is consequences for stuff like this. Just like back in the day when I was doing illegal activities, in the back of my mind, I knew I had the chance to get busted, and I didn't care because I was so cocky and arrogant. I was that dude. But when I got busted and they gave me that 10-year sentence, believe me, my whole mindset changed. I decided that I did care, but it was a little too late. So just take heed and know, and let this be a warning to you guys out there, because either he was or he wasn't, but at the end of the day, somehow, some way, it got found out, and now he's looking at some serious charges. He's looking at some trouble, and a lot of you guys out there that are in this game might be looking at the same situation. Who knows if Nike already went ahead and went after StockX for the fakes, and now they're like, you know what, we're gonna start busting these guys for stolen goods, which is crazy that they're not already. With the amount of heists and the amount of things that are going on, it makes you wonder if they weren't just letting things leak out, because how could that many pairs of shoes just keep leaking out every time and nothing ever happens? I don't know. It's strange. So maybe Nike decided, you know what? It's time for us to get the feds involved and start cracking heads. Maybe this was the first example. Maybe it's the first of many. I don't know what that dude's built like. I can't judge him. I don't know if he's going to turn around and start singing. I don't know if he just got swatted. But at the end of the day, this man just got busted. His whole life just got turned upside down, live on a whatnot, just like that. And it's going to be a real hard road for him to come back and bounce back from this, whether he beats these charges or not. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that's just pretty much my 2 cents on this whole thing. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Was it fakes? Was it stolen? Did he get swatted? What's really happening? There will probably be more news coming out as the day progresses, but let me know. But with all that being said, if you like my content, go ahead, subscribe to the bell, hit that button so you can get notified every time I drop one of these bangers, and you can get some more of this good stuff in your life. And remember, no shoe is an absolute must cop. Support the motherfucking culture and not the resellers. I'm OG Trap Jordan, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.